Hi, I'm Yale. For nearly 20 years, I owned and ran a debt collection law firm called Levy & Associates. I've spent decades in the debt collection industry, but now I'm retired, or at least I thought I was. Solos reached out to me and introduced me to the new tool, SoloSettle. It convinced me to come out of retirement to share my insight with consumers and debt collectors. Let me tell you, the debt collection world is more complex than you think. There are a lot of parties at play. There are debtors known as consumers. There are creditors, which are banks and financial institutions that issue credit or make loans to consumers. There are debt buyers that purchase old debt portfolios from creditors at a discounted rate and then try to collect the full amount. There are third-party debt collectors who are hired by creditors to help them collect bad debt. Then there are debt collection law firms like I had that represented creditors and sue consumers when regular debt collection route doesn't seem to work. These firms also have paralegals and debt collector agents that contact consumers to try to convince them to pay off their debt without having to go to court. A debt settlement company is a third party that represents consumers trying to settle debts with debt collectors, including law firms and debt collection agencies. 90% of consumers who get sued for debt don't know how to respond to the lawsuit, so they never do and they automatically lose. Going through the entire court process is costly for creditors and debt collectors. They have to pay court filing fees and attorney costs. And even when they win the case, they still have to go through a fairly lengthy and involved process to actually use the legal means to collect debt, like wage garnishment, bank attachment, judgment of property liens, etc. Of course, this depends on the state, but all those outcomes are out there. The ideal outcome for both consumers and debt collectors is typically a settlement. Consumers who have experienced financial hardship are struggling to pay off their debts can save money and get back on track financially, and collectors will achieve their number one goal: collecting debts while being compliant with the FDCPA and, most importantly, helping consumers. How much do debt collectors settle for? This varies based on several factors, such as the consumer's current income, the consumer's current monthly expenses, other debts owed by the consumer, financial hardships experienced by the consumer, such as the loss of job, life events, illness, death in the family, divorce, etc. That being said, creditors, debt buyers, and debt collection agencies have predetermined settlement standards and baselines that they use when negotiating for settlements. For example, banks have baseline percentages that they will accept for different types of debts. So if Susie Q owes $10,000 in credit card debt, the bank probably has some predetermined settlement amount that it will accept for her debt. But various factors influence the lawyer or the debt collector's negotiation decisions. It is important for consumers to know this because it is possible to settle debt outside of court and for far less than the original amount that was in the complaint or on the letter. The solution to a collection action is typically very simple: communication. However, most consumers are hesitant to communicate with a collector, especially a debt collection attorney, due to the high stress and anxiety about owing the debt and the unknown. SoloSettle has a proprietary platform that solves this issue by using technology to provide an easy, non-threatening way to communicate with collectors online, taking the emotion out of the equation. So what exactly is SoloSettle? SoloSettle is a proprietary settlement platform that reduces tension between consumers and collectors by leveling the playing field between the consumer and the creditor. SoloSettle is not a debt settlement company, nor does SoloSettle represent consumers. Rather, it's a tech-driven approach to settlement that connects consumers with collectors through an app and allows them to send and receive settlement offers until they reach an agreement with the collector. No phone calls, no court battles, no heated debates, no emotion. SoloSettle makes the process less intimidating for consumers and more efficient for collectors. Here's how it works. The consumer logs on to SoloSettle app. They enter some basic information about their debt and lawsuit if they have been sued. They determine how much they want to offer to settle the debt. They click submit, and the SoloSettle platform converts the response into an official, legally worded offer to the collector. The collector receives that offer and then considers whether to accept it or to send a counter offer. If the collector does not accept the first offer, the counter offer is relayed back to the consumer through the settlement platform, and the consumer can then either accept it or send another offer back. This process goes on until both parties reach an amicable settlement agreement. Once an agreement is reached, SoloSettle helps the collector send over the debt via a settlement agreement documentation to the consumer, who would review it and then submit it back through the SoloSettle platform, signed, and is sent to the debt collector. After which, any documents that need to be filed with the court will be filed and the case will be close without either party having to ever enter a courthouse. The consumer pays the settlement through the SoloSettle app, keeping their personal data and private financial information secured and protected. The app allows the consumer to offer lump sum payments or set up a payment plan over a number of months. Why use SoloSettle instead of a debt settlement company or going to court? It's simple. It's faster, cheaper, less stressful, and frictionless. Settling through SoloSettle typically happens under 3 weeks, compared to the long legal process of a lawsuit. SoloSettle also benefits collectors. They get paid faster and avoid a costly lawsuit and the time involved. Plus, it's a way for collectors to communicate effectively and efficiently with consumers who may be hard to reach over the phone. Unpaid debts affect everyone: consumer, the creditor, and the economy at large. Settlement is a win for everybody involved. It is a modern approach that simplifies debt settlement and helps maintain financial stability in our economy. I'm excited to be part of the Solo team and share my experience with this ever-evolving industry. If you are a consumer looking to settle a debt or a collector trying to streamline the process, please check out SoloSettle. Let's work together to create a solution that benefits everyone.